The Last Leviathan. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words. The words. Mac, just read the fucking words, you prick. The Last Leviathan is a physics-based shipbuilding and destruction adventure. On your voyage to uncover where the Last Leviathan lies, you will discover a world full of rival ships, mythical monsters, wrecked flotsam, physics puzzles, and hidden treasures. Build ships with blocks bought, found, or plundered. You will craft boats capable of conquering pirates, outmaneuvering racing ships, disintegrating towers high on the coastal hills, and solving mysteries. So what is the Last Leviathan? Well, it's a indie early access. It ticks all the boxes that say that it's going to be shite, and it's very, very early in its development. I mean, they've thrown this out really early. I mean, everything that I've just told you in the words, none of that's in the game. It's just kind of it's the only thing that's in this game is you can build ships, and you can do the first 2 levels of the game, which involve sailing around a couple of islands, shooting shitty AI ships that have horrible artificial intelligence. I mean, they kind of just sail round and round in circles, firing at you. They are awful, the AI. It's hideous. It needs massively overhauling the artificial intelligence in this game if this game is to be taken serious, because at this moment they are shit. They don't really do anything strategic in their positioning. You just sail up to them, they sail up to you, and it's just bam, bam, bam. It needs to be better, the AI in this game. But it's early access, so, I have hope. Well, in the current build, you have access to a lot of parts. You can build any kind of ship you want. You're just limited by your imagination, and I have to say the building of the ships is brilliant. It's really easy and it's fun, and you've got all kinds of different weapons. You've got long range, short range, fast firing, fire based that'll set fire to the enemy. You've got battering rams, mortars. You've got all kinds of stuff to put on your ship, but you have to be careful that you don't exceed the power restriction for the specific tier that you're fighting in. Because what you get in this, you get this battle mode where you have to unlock the different tiers, and you have to get something like 30 stars to unlock the next tier. To get stars, you have to kill the enemy ships that are within the same tier as yours. So, if you build a massive destroyer and then go and face off against the level 1 ships, you're not going to get any stars for that because you're clearly overpowered. So you have to keep an eye on the power gauge and make sure that when you're building your ship, you don't exceed the restrictions of the current tier that you're building for. But you can still have fun. I mean, I built a really flat, low profile ship with a couple of cannons on, and that got me through the first tier. It actually got me through the second tier as well. Well, halfway through, that's where I'm up to at the minute. But if you don't want to do any of that, if you just want to go crazy, then what you can do is, after you've unlocked the second tier, just build a huge freaking dreadnought. I haven't done that yet. I'm actually going to do that the next time I play it, and just build a massive ship, load it down with cannons, make sure it floats. That helps actually. You've got to be careful about the waterline. You don't want that coming over the top of your guns or the deck, really, which I did on one of mine. But what you do is you just basically use the different materials on hand to build your ship. If you're going to build a heavy ship, make it a deep ship. Get a keel on it so that it doesn't list. Put ballast on if you're just having guns on one side to balance it out. Choose your propulsion methods. You can have sails or you can have propellers. There's different sizes of that as well, so you can go faster. You've got to put a rudder on it or you're not going to be able to turn, and all the usual stuff. And it does handle very well, and you've got to you can set your throttle for you've got a lot of control over your ship, surprisingly, for a game like this. And the actual combat is very good in first person mode. You just simply click on a cannon and you enter a first person mode on that particular cannon, and if you press your left mouse button you just fire that cannon. But if you hit the space bar, you will fire every cannon on that side of your ship that's also facing where you're aiming. So you do get a lot of control in first person mode, and the combat is meaty, it sounds good, and watching bits of the enemy ship flying off is just brilliant. I'm really enjoying the combat of this game. You can also do the combat in third person, which is atrocious. I just don't understand it at all. It's just awful, and I'm used to fighting in these type of naval battles in third person. Sydney as Pirates, for example, that Navy one that I did the other month, and they are easy. This is ridiculous in third person. I might just need a lot of practice. I don't really understand it. There is no tutorial in this game, you see, which is a big freaking mistake. You should have a tutorial, even if it's just a page of text telling you how to how to aim the damn thing. But I found third person combat to be just atrocious, so that probably needs fixing, or maybe I do. But the actual ship building, going into combat, is fun. There's just not enough of the game made at the minute. I mean, we're having sea monsters coming in which aren't there yet. There's going to be a lot more ships. There's going to be the story thing that's going on. There's going to be the puzzles. I mean, you got none of that. You got absolutely none of that. The most exciting thing I've done is fight a few shitty ships and blow the shit out of what looked like a bridge. That's pretty much it. I've played it for just over 2 hours. I'm probably going to play it for another hour, building this huge ship just to troll the little ships with. And then that's pretty much it. That's as far as I'm going to be able to go on the current build. But the good news is, if you do buy it now, you own the game, and so when the game's finished, you just have it, you know. I don't know if the price is going to go up or not. Sometimes they do. Early access is generally offered at a lower price to get people to support the game and the development of it, and then as the game is released, when it's finished, it might go up a bit. I don't know about this game, you know. I haven't spoke to the developers about this. I was gifted this by Snaggy. So it is a fun game. I am liking it. Whether or not I'm going to give it a thumb up, I'm probably going to say no. And the reason for that is because it is so bare-boned at the minute. There is so little in there. You've got a creative mode, and you've got this battle versus mode, but there's only 2 tiers open in that, which isn't much really. But it isn't a bad game. I am quite excited for this game, and I know I don't always come back to them. I try to, but I am going to come back to this, and the reason is because I like it. I do like it. There's just not quite enough there to justify the price at the minute. You're going to get bored after a couple of hours, but it's one to watch, and if you certainly like physics-based games, then you want to grab it, because as physics-based games goes, this is potentially one of the best. So there you go, guys. That's the last Leviathan. It is early access. If I had a middle thumb, I'd give it a middle thumb, but I don't, so I'm going to say, because we've had so many developers running away and taking the money, I'm going to say just hang on. There's just not quite enough there, and I'm going to thumb it down, but it is still a good game.